Hello, welcome to this channel. My name is Dick van Oeveren, and in this second video in this video series, I'm going to show you how to install Kibana. If you haven't seen the first video, I would strongly recommend you to watch the first video because that's all about installing Elasticsearch. And this video is part of a video series covering the installation of Elastiflow. So you'll see the next video will be around installing Elastiflow, and then there's going to be a fourth video showing you all the rich telemetry data that we can send out of a CX 10000. So let's get started with the installation of Kibana. The installation is pretty straightforward. We just do an apt update and install Kibana. So it's downloading, and we'll continue once everything is installed. Kibana is installed, and what we're going to do now is copy the certificates that we have installed with the Elasticsearch installation, copy them into the Kibana folder. So we're going to use those certificates also with Kibana. Now we're getting into the hardest part, which is configuring the Kibana YAML file, configuring the configuration. Okay, I've already configured it, but I'll go through the settings and show you what they mean. The server port is 5601, which will be the TCP port that we will be using to access Kibana from your browser. This will be your IP address. Server host could be an FQDN or an IP address, really. That's my public facing URL. I'm setting a payload, which is really all about the payload size of information that is coming into the server for server requests. Scrolling a little bit down. Logging is important. So that if there is something wrong or if your Kibana doesn't start, we can have a look at the logs, the process file here, and then finally, because we're using certificates, we'd have to enable the SSL functionality. And that's what we're doing here. SSL enabled, the CA, which is really the CA that we've configured and installed with Elasticsearch, the Elastiflow key and certificate, that's the user certificate, some hosts here, so that's the Elasticsearch host with the username and password, and we need to change that username password. I'll do that in a minute. Some more certificates there. So that's a service certificate and the Elasticsearch certificate. And then we also need to set the expect encrypted saved objects encryption key with this value. And so with that, I need to enable the daemon or restart the daemon, enable the Kibana at startup and try to start the Kibana application. And then what we can do is we can check the logs. So we could do like a systemctl status Kibana, and you can see that it's running. We could do a journalctl. Let's do that. And so you could see all the stuff that is running here. If something is wrong, you'll see an error somewhere here, right? And then you can work on fixing that error. And there's also the log. So we could do a tail or a cat if you like to see the Kibana process. And the thing I mentioned a minute ago is changing the Kibana system user password for Elasticsearch. It's similar as what we did with the Elastic user. That's the Elasticsearch reset password tool. And let's do that. Enter the new password. And that is also reset. And let's see if we can navigate to Kibana. Loading Elastic here, you can see that I'm getting the login. I need to log in with the Elastic user. And you can see that that I'm in. The final part in setting up Kibana is to import the data objects so that you can get some very nice dashboards. And the way we do this is that you'd have to go into the Elastiflow website, go to this URL here, and download these Kibana objects. We're using ECS format, which means that we need to use the ECS and the JSON dashboards. We just right-click, save the link as, well, just do it on the downloads, save that file. And then we can go into Kibana and add these objects. And the way to do this is that you take the hamburger menu, you go into management. There's the management here. You go into stack management here. And then if you scroll a little bit down, you have this Kibana saved object section here. So you go into the saved objects. And what you can do then here is import the ND.json. So we'll do import, and then we can select the file, either drag and drop or import. And then what we do is we'll just select that ND.json and drag it into the object and import the objects and see what happens. So it's importing over 408 objects, which are all related to Elastiflow. And now if you go back into the dashboards here, analytics dashboards, you can find all the Elastiflow dashboards here. So I can take one Elastiflow here, and you'll get a dashboard here. But there's no data to analyze, which means that I have to install Elasticflow and get some data into Elasticsearch so that Kibana can show it on the dashboard. And this concludes the installation configuration of Kibana. In the next video, I will show you how to install and configure Elastiflow. And with that, I would like to thank you for watching and hope to see you soon in the next video. Thanks and bye-bye.